Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, this is obviously a programming video, as you probably saw in the title of this video, and probably also the thumbnail. Anyways, in this video I'm going to be telling you guys and showing you guys, it's like a tutorial on how to make 3D Minecraft in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So, like you might have seen part 1 of this series, which is just like a 1 minute 30-second video. It's just like a quick time lapse of like what it's going to be like, but obviously it's going to be much better than that, and we're actually going to try to make all the cool graphics, the trees and everything. But yeah, so I'm just going to teach you guys how to make 3D Minecraft in using the THREE.js library mainly, and we might use some other libraries just to make it easier. So yeah, well, I've never ever done this in my whole life, so this is the first time I'm making 3D Minecraft, and I'm gonna make it as I go through the series, okay? So this is the first video, okay? Well, it's the second video of the series, but it's the first tutorial of the series. So yeah, let's get started. So anyways, what you want to do is, well, this is Mac, and if you're using Windows, it won't be too different. In fact, it won't even be any different. So what you want to do, I'm going to use Sublime Text as my text editor, and you can use other ones. There's like TextMate, there's Atom, and other stuff. So I'm gonna save this as 3D Minecraft.html, and then I'll just save it in desktop first, and then I'll move it into my folder, 3D, and then 3.js work. So you might have like another folder where you have all your stuff, but this is like where I put all my 3D, where I put all my 3D things. Okay, so yeah, and if you might be wondering, this was the first episode. It's like a randomly generated world, but yeah. Anyways, so obviously what we're gonna make at the start is gonna look something like this, but afterwards it's gonna look like more like Minecraft. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, yeah. So let's get started. So over here, I put it. The reason why I put it into this directory is because, as you can see, there's 3.js over here. So you have to install 3.js. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you guys right up here. So 3.js. You just go to their website, right up there, and then you see this, okay? And what do you want to do? You want to go. You're gonna see the documentation. Documentation is like kind of like tutorials. It's like, it's not in a video, it's just like how you create a scene, importing via modules and things like that. So you can do all this stuff, but you don't have to do this. I actually don't like this require thing. I think it's like ECMAScript. It's like a new updated version of JavaScript. I don't really like it. I just like the old importing system. Anyways, yeah, so download. You can download it from here, I think, and then it's downloading. Yeah, so it downloads, and then you move the 3.js and all the files into your directory, and then you can start working. Okay, but I already have 3.js, so I'm just gonna delete it. So yeah. So yeah, and then you can like see some examples, and yeah, a cinematic real-time shader visualized brought to you. Yeah, okay, so anyways, well, this is quite laggy in my computer, but yeah, whatever. Let's just get started. So you have to install 3.js, and then another library that we're going to be using, you probably saw it over here. Yeah, you probably saw it over here. So that's the file that I'm going to be working with. It's right over here, perlin.js. If you've been watching my channel, then you would have known that I've actually used Perlin noise in some of my programs, a few of them, and Perlin noise is just like a way to generate, not exactly random, it is really random, but it makes it smooth. For example, let's say you want to make a terrain, okay? And if you want to check out my terrain building video, then I'll also put that in the link below, and because like we're pretty much going to use that algorithm, but just with blocks. And yeah, so I won't talk too much about it, but perlin.js, Perlin, the library, was built by Ken Perlin. He works in the same university as the coding train. I'm pretty sure you know him too, but anyways, Perlin, the library, is quite simple to work with, and it's just like a function. You just have to put in some coordinates, and then It can work with 1D, in 2D or 3D, and then sometimes 4D. And what it does, it gives you a value. And okay, let's say you want to let's say you have a flat world, okay? You want to turn it into like a smoothie terrain, okay? If you make each point random, then it's just going to look like a squiggly up, down, because it's just random. There's no like pattern or anything. But perlin.js, it kind of like plucks points to make it as a terrain, but at the same time, it makes it smooth, okay? So if you want to see what I mean, it's right over here, terrain.html. You can see over here, it's quite smooth, okay? And then I have another one, this blocks terrain. Just like, I also made a video about this. So yeah, you can see it's like a randomly generated world, but it's not random. So like there are no blocks going like, instead it's like a smooth terrain world. Okay, it's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, let's start programming. Whatever. So 3D, 3.js work, and this is my directory. So I'm gonna open this with Sublime Text, and yeah, let's start programming. So where's my finder? There you go. And I'm just gonna open this over here with Sublime Text too. So yeah. Anyway, so the reason why I opened this is just like in case I forget some stuff, because this 3.js is quite complicated for me. Like it's not complicated, it's just like their syntax. You have to like memorize a lot of things, like how to spell each thing. So each word and each function. So yeah. Anyways, can I drag this in here? No, right? You know what, I'll just open recent, yeah, there you go. So this is like the old script, and this is what we're going to be working with, and this is our output, okay? So yeah, let's get started. So HTML, 3D Minecraft. And then over here, this is where we're going to write all of our JavaScript, but before that we have to import some libraries. And 3.js, the reason why I just called it 3.js is because it's in my library, so I don't need to like specify where it is located. So yeah, it's in my directory. It's in the same directory as this file, so I don't have to specify like where it's located. So I don't have to go like 3D work / and so on. Okay, so yeah, and then I'm also going to import the Perlin noise library. So perlin.js. Wait, is that what it's called? Perlin.js. Yeah, there you go. So it's called perlin.js, and yeah. Okay, so yeah. So the first thing we have to do in 3.js, we have to create a scene, then render it and all that stuff. So what I'm just gonna do as a shortcut, I'm just gonna copy this, and then I'll explain what each thing does. So I'm just gonna copy all of this code, but I'm not just gonna copy paste it. Okay, I'm gonna delete like most of it. So I copied it, and now I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna delete this guy. No, this is the update function. So I'm gonna delete all of this. Then I'm gonna delete this, and yeah, pretty much all of this. And yeah, maybe no, this part. So yeah, okay. So okay, let me just explain all this. So var scene equals to a new 3.scene. This is like a scene. Okay, what you're gonna put. So like what you're gonna see pretty much. Okay. Now a renderer is it's a WebGL. So WebGL stands for web and then graphics library. There's also OpenGL and stuff like that. So this renderer, it like renders everything. Okay, so it makes it display on the screen. Okay, then there's just renderer.set size. Okay, like you see how many functions they have. This is what makes 3.js so complicated. Like, what if you accidentally put like a lowercase s over it? Okay, anyways. Window.innerWidth is just like the width of the window, okay? And window.innerHeight is the height of the window. So like from here to over here, and then from here to here. So that's the width, that's the height. So document.body.appendChild, that basically, so document.body, so in the body, if you were to do like document.body and then you had like this other thing, let's say you have like a div element over here, okay? Then you would go like document.body and then you would somehow call the div. So you would go like document.body.div.append child, but we want to just append it to the body. So document.body.append child, what this does, it makes it a child of body, okay? But that's like a really bad way to explain it. What it does, it just puts like all of this inside the body, okay? So like it creates maybe like a div over here and stuff, or like a video or whatever. And renderer the DOM element, okay? So like the renderer pretty much. And then over here, that's the camera. You can create all sorts of cameras, but this is like the simplest one. It's the easiest to work with, and I'm pretty sure this will be really helpful for 3D Minecraft. So yeah, so var camera is equal to new 3.perspective camera. 75 is it's the FOV, the field of view, and Minecraft also has a field of view. I'm not sure if you've played Minecraft before, but if you haven't, then it has like this. If you go to settings, you can always change this thing called field of view, and it's like how sharp your image is, and like how wide you want to see. So like our eyes, I think they're like about 160 degrees, 170, I have no clue. But this is 75, okay, 75 degrees. And then window.inner width over window.inner height. That's the aspect ratio, I think. Okay, I don't know what. Let's just go check this. Okay, so 3.js org. What is the camera? Perspective camera. Yeah. So the first one is the field of view. So aspect ratio. Okay, and then the next one is the near clipping plane and the far clipping plane. Okay, so near clipping plane, that just means, so this is 0.1 and 1000. 0.1 means like how far from the camera until you can't see. So it's like if you play Minecraft, it's like it's like how many chunks you can see. I forgot, what is it called again? It's called oh my god, I couldn't forget this. Okay, but it's pretty much how far you can see. Okay, so 0.1 is like anything that is closer to 0.1 pixels or like distance to you, then you won't be able to see it, and anything that is 1,000 pixels away from you, you won't be able to see it. Okay, so yeah, if you want, you can always just change these values and stuff. Then over here, so I won't be looking at this function update right now, or this. I'm just gonna go onto this part. Game loop. Okay, so function game loop. This is like the loop of our game. Okay, request animation frame. That's not a 3.js function. As you can see, there's no there's no 3 dot over here. Okay, so request animation frame. That's just a built-in JavaScript function that pretty much what it does, it just repeatedly runs this function. Okay, so over here, request animation frame game loop. So it's going to continuously repeat. It's going to continuously call this function. And then over here, we want to call the update function, which updates our game, and then a render function, which renders everything. Okay, so update is going to have like all of our game controls, what like moving and everything. Okay, but render is quite simple. Renderer.render the scene and then the camera. Okay, so quite simple. We want to render the scene and also the camera. So, and then over here we just call the game loop function. Okay, because we have to call it and then it runs it repeatedly. And then and then this is quite simple too. This is quite helpful because it like let's just say, for example, I'll just open a new file. Let me just pingpong.html. Anyway, so over here you can see, so I was making this, I haven't finished it, it's just like a ping pong thing. So you can see that as I go like this, like it actually changes. Okay, so it doesn't get like onto this side, it actually changes. Okay, so that's this part right here. When it gets resized, it adjusts to the change and everything, and it's quite helpful. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, so that's quite helpful, and the way it works, render.setSize, you want to like reset the size, and then you want to so the camera.aspect, this part right here, you want to say this again, window.inner width over window.inner height, and then you want to update the projection matrix, which if you ask me, I have no idea what that is. Just include that in your code, okay? Because then it won't work. So yeah, anyways, So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that we want to do is so we have to create a block, right? And I have no idea how to do that, so I'm just gonna, well, I do know how to do that, but like the syntax is quite tricky. Anyways, so var ground box, I'm not going to call this box. What I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to go like this and then like that. Wait, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. So I'm just going to paste this comment over here. Okay. And so this is just like for reference if I don't like include something that I forgot to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go like function block. This is a function constructor, okay? So if you don't know what that is, it's like I mean, you should know what it is, but it's like it creates instances. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, okay, just keep going. So function block, this dot x is equal to x, this dot y is equal to y, and this dot z is equal to z. Because you might have seen in my videos when I made like, for example, 2D Minecraft, there was only x and y, but since this is 3D, there's also a z plane. Okay, and z goes like away from you, like into the screen kind of. Okay, so function block x, y, z, and then this dot display is going to be a function, and then what we can do over here, I'm going to copy this, but I'm not going to call it ground box, and don't worry, I'm also going to explain all of this, what each thing means. So ground box, I'm going to call it block box, okay, and then block mesh, and then block, which means over here I also have to go like block and block. Okay, so so var block box is equal to new 3.box buffer geometry. What this means is you want to create a new box, okay? Box buffer, like you shouldn't care too much about like the cool words box, buffer, geometry. Just care about this part, box, okay? And maybe geometry, okay? Not buffer, okay? Even I don't know what that means, okay? Anyways, so what do you want to do? You want to create like, let's say 5 pixels, 5, 5, 5. 5 is, this one's like x, and then y, then z. It's like, the width, then the height, then the depth. I'm just gonna width, height, then depth, okay? So and then this is the color, okay? So 3.mesh basic material, and then the color, and you have to specify it in hexadecimal. So this is 0x00ff00. So this is green, okay? So you can always make it black or something. If you want to make it black, then it's 0 there, but then you probably won't be able to see anything. So, well, unless you change the background. So, and then once you create the block and the mesh, you want to create the block, okay? So once you created the block geometry, then you create the block. So var block is equal to new 3.mesh. Mesh is like material, so you want to create a new material, which is a block, and then you want to specify that this is the block that you want and this is the mesh that you want. Combine them together to get a block, and then you want to add that to the scene, okay? But since each block is different, you want to go like block dot position dot x is equal to this dot x, block dot position dot y is equal to this dot y, and block dot position dot z is equal to this dot z. Okay, so but you may notice like in my videos, like at some point there weren't any lines, like it just looked like one big block. So what do you want to do? You want to create like a border around each block, so you know that that's one block, okay? So, and the way we do that is by doing this, and I'm also going to explain this part, so keep watching. Var edges is equal to new 3.edges geometry, and then ground box, but there's not to call ground box, we'll have to go like block box, and then var line is equal to new 3 dot line segments. So edges geometry, there's like a new, you're creating another, like you're creating the geometry of the edges, and then line is you're creating, like you're pretty much creating each line. So you're going like, for the edges you want to create a line basic material, and then you specify the color, and my color is going to be 0, Okay, sorry, black. You can always make it white. I think white will look pretty cool, but yeah, actually I'll try with white. F. So yeah, and then you add that to the scene, and then you have to make sure that each time you do this, you have to go like line dot position dot x is equal to this dot x, and line dot position dot y is equal to this dot y, and line dot position dot z is equal to this dot z. Okay, because like the line and the box have to be in the same position, or then it might look quite weird. Okay, so when we refresh this and see, you'll just see oh, what happened here? Okay, what you'll see is just like a basic canvas. You won't see any blocks. That's because we haven't called this function. We haven't created any block. We've created how to create a block. We've said how to create a block. But we haven't created a block. Okay, but like you might have seen this white margin over here. I'm just gonna try to remove that. So style margin. Body margin 0. Can you do that? Okay, yeah, there we go. So now there's no like. Okay, yeah. Well, obviously, if you scroll, then you'll see these white things. But like maybe afterwards, I'll find a way to remove this. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So after you do that, we have to create each block. So I'm gonna go like for var I equals 0. I should be smaller than, let's say, just to start off with in this tutorial. Let's just say 10 blocks. Oh, wait, how many blocks did I put over here? Oh, I put 30 blocks. Okay, 30 blocks. Okay. Well, let's just do 20. Okay, because like the more you do it, the more laggier it gets. So you have to be aware of that. And then I plus plus. Oh, and I'm not gonna be putting I. I'm gonna put x. For z, because it's not y, it's actually z-axis now. So z should be smaller than 20. Z plus plus. And then what you want to do is you want to do let's say var blocks. So this is going to be like the blocks array, and we're going to control this. We're going to access all the blocks from here. And blocks dot push a new block at, and then we have to specify the x, y, and z coordinates. Okay, so x times 5, because the reason why I did 5 is because each block is 5 pixels wide and deep and high. And then we have to specify the y coordinate, and the way we're going to do that is by using perlin noise. So I'm just going to put v over here, and then we're going to make the y coordinate, and then z times 5. Okay, so how do we make the y coordinate? Yeah, how do we do this? Well, we could say, okay, let me just okay, so var v is equal to this guy, so this. Yeah, so don't worry, I will explain this. So var v is equal to math.round. So this simple bit of code, what it does, it gets a random number and it rounds it to the nearest 5, to the nearest multiple of 5. Okay, so it can be like 10 or 15 or 25 or 105. Okay, or any of them. Okay, or maybe even negative, so it can be like minus 35. Okay, so, and the reason why I put x off over here is because if we don't put x off and we just put x and z, then watch what happens. Oh, well, nothing will happen, but what will happen is it won't be smooth, because perlin noise, what it does, it detects really small like changes. Okay, so let's say you have a point and you have another point right next to that point, it can detect the changes. But if you have a point right over here and then another point over here, then like perlin noise, like it will become more random than like more smooth. Okay, so what we have to do is if you don't understand this, then you can always just watch my perlin noise tutorial. I'll put a link to that in the description. Hopefully, I always forget, but yeah. So var x off is equal to 0, and var z off is also equal to 0. Okay, and now these increments will be much smaller than x and z increments, so we're gonna go like x off is equal to 0, and then x off is equal to x off plus 0.01 or 0.1, or let's just say inc. and then y off is equal to y off plus inc. Okay, and then we can have like a var inc over here is equal to 0.1. Okay, and now yeah, and then we also need an amplitude, so var amplitude is equal to, let's say, 100. Okay, and now yeah, so let me just explain this part. So noise.perlin, and then this is a 2-dimensional coordinate system, even though we're using a 3-dimensional, where it's actually 2D, because like we're detecting it. So what's happening over here, we're pretty much getting a 2D plane, and we're plucking some points to make it 3D. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So that's why we're using perlin 2. Okay, so perlin 2, noise.perlin 2, and then the x coordinate, then z coordinate. Well, this is actually meant for the y coordinate, but we're putting the z coordinate instead. That's fine. And then this gives us a random value. It's not exactly random, like I said. And then we want to times that by the amplitude divided by 5 and all this random stuff to do what I said. Like, remember, to get to round it to the nearest multiple of 5. Okay, so the blocks don't look like so they don't look like shifted a bit too high up or a bit too low up, or sorry, low down. So it's like perfect. Every multiple of 5 there's a box. Okay, so like not every multiple of 2. Okay, in fact, you know what, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so yeah, so after we put all the blocks into the blocks array, we have to display them, right? So I'm gonna go like for var I is equal to 0. I should be smaller than blocks dot length, and then I plus plus blocks for the I dot display, and boom. Oh, nothing happened. Well, what's going here? Let me just check the console. Oh, we have an error. Can't find variable y off. Y off. Wait, why did I write y off? Okay, this is supposed to be z off. Okay, and there you go. Yeah, and we see some stuff over here. Looks kind of weird. Okay, and the reason why you can't look around is because we want to have the pointer lock controls. Okay, so let me just show you what I mean. Pointer lock controls. We need to put this over here. So let me just get this over here. Pointer lock controls. So pointer lock controls, what it does, it locks your mouse onto the screen, so you can't move your mouse, and then you can like look around and everything. Okay, so it's quite cool. So yeah, let's make this control. So var controls is equal to new 3.pointer lock controls. Okay, and then can't really remember. I think, yeah. You know, I'm just gonna copy this part over here. So, yeah. So let me just explain. Var control is equal to blah blah. Camera and then document.body. Camera is like what camera you want to use for the controls, and document.body is where you want to use the controls. Okay, and then once you click the document, the body, the web page, then it locks the control onto your screen, and then these functions we'll use after. Maybe we'll use them. Okay, let me just show you what I mean. So now when I touch it, you can see I can move, and but yeah, so I can't move right now, but I can look around, and right now I'm inside a block. That's why you see this. Okay, and if you want to see what's going on, I'll just lower down the value, so I can go like block.y position is equal to this.y minus 5. Okay, so let's shift everything 5 pixels down. Whew. Okay, well, let's shift it 10 pixels down. Well, what is happening? Oh yeah, right. So I also have to do the same thing to this. And yeah, what you see is just a flat plane for some reason. Oh yeah, right. So yeah, so like you can see over here, I put x and z, and if you put x and z, then you'll see this. Okay, but if you don't put x and z and you put x off and z off, because I forgot to put them, then what you would see is this. You would see a Minecraft world. So right now this is like really hilly. It's kind of hard to see because like the lighting is bad, but we will make that much better afterwards. You can see it's really hilly. You can always change this with the amplitude, so you can go like, so ink is pretty much, the lower the ink value is, the smoother your terrain is going to be, but also the shorter it's going to be, maybe, I don't know. No, sorry, the smoother it will be, but the amplitude controls the height, okay? So let's say you want a 10 as the height, then that's like, yeah, you can see it's like a really flat terrain. Maybe it's like a grassland in Minecraft or something. But if you want like a mountain biome, then you would probably want like 100. Yeah, and then you see that. And then if you want to make this really smooth, then you can always get like 0.01 and go like this. And the reason, if we go back, so if we go like 0.05, and then you can see that each time it's getting the same thing, right? So like maybe you thought that this was randomly generated, and it is. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to go like over here. We have to say, this is what makes our terrain randomly generated. Noise dot seed math.random, and this just chooses a random seed. Okay, so now if you do it, you can see it changed. Okay, and if you see the holes, that's just like, it's because it's only one block. Okay, so it's like it's pulling one block down. So like, let's say you want to take a look at this block over here. That block's over there, but then this block, which was next to that block, it pulled it 2 blocks down, so that's why you see a hole there. But we're actually going to cover that with blocks, so it looks like it's it's like, yeah, whatever. Okay, it's nothing to worry about. Don't worry. Okay, but let's say I just want the amplitude to be 50. So this gives me that. If I refresh, should give me a random one. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that was part 1 of this tutorial series, 3D Minecraft thingy. If you enjoyed, please leave the like button as a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. As you can see up on the screen, only some of my viewers actually are subscribed to me, so please subscribe and hit the like button too. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave it a like and comment if you have any questions, or if you want to give any feedback. And next tutorial of the series, we're going to learn how to move the player and how to give controls, up and down controls. Sorry, not up and down, jumping controls, moving controls, and all that. It's quite simple stuff. Okay, so yeah, stay tuned for that, and see you guys in the next one.